Yes,
I reckon you're more likely to get that donut.
Damn. I'm nothing but
Or
donuts.
just as likely.
Big old fat donuts.
What's the deal with donut? Anyway, Jackson, a man walks into a library and asks the librarian for a book on paranoia. She turns to him and whispers, "They're right behind you."
Yes, okay. I haven't got any dad jokes on top of my head, but
What? These aren't dad jokes. I saw a sign that said "Watch for Children." I thought that sounds like a fair trade. You okay?
I saw a pedestrian crossing. But
I've been going to therapy lately. My therapist told me the way to achieve inner peace is to finish what I start, right?
yeah.
So far today, I have finished 2 bags of chips and a large pizza.
Oh,
And these
gosh.
donuts. I'm on my way to finishing these donuts. That's
You know what they say about
there's
donuts?
a few hundred more AI ones.
Do you know? Did you hear about the joke about the donuts?
No,
I
what?
tell you, but I don't think you get the whole thing. That's not AI. That's just my dumb brain.
It wasn't too bad.
Thank you. There is a proper donut joke there, but I just
The problem is you didn't fill enough time.
correct. Oh wait, Troy, that was the cream of the cream of jokes.
I was going cream next.
Creme a la creme.
This is good, this one.
Did you know that? Did you know that donuts grew on trees?
I did not know that.
Just like the chestnut and coconut. Sorry.
You know, I didn't always have facial hair, but then it grew on me.
I had to shave once. I got real close to the mirror.
Man, this donut is so good. Dieting is hard. Especially when you know the fridge is just a few steps away.
Especially when your diet is just donuts.
Well, I'm not saying I'm lazy, but I have a ladder app on my phone.
It's you're up to no good.
What's a ladder app? A ladder app on my phone? That doesn't make sense.
I don't know. Maybe you're trying to climb something.
I'm not saying I'm lazy, but I have a ladder app on my phone.
It helps me get up in the morning. Which is odd because you have an alarm.
I'm afraid for calendars. Their days are numbered.
The days are numbered. Yes. Yes, they are. Indeed, they are numbered.
All right. Let's finish strong, Jackson. Since I got this donut here with all these little crumbs on it.
Oh, go on then.
Why did the cookie go to the doctor?
He was falling apart.
No, because he felt crummy.
Oh, shocker. Yeah, okay. Righto. Play the damn intro.
If you'd waited 2 seconds, I was literally. It would have been perfect timing, and now you've ruined it. Now I can't do it.
Oh, under pressure.
What's brown and sticky, Jackson?
A stick.
Exactly. I'd tell you a chemistry joke, but I wouldn't get a reaction.
Yes, thank you.
Talking shit.
This episode of the Average Podcast is brought to you by coffee. Well, because and donuts.
No, I got a
guess.
better one. No, I got a better one.
You got a better one?
Okay.
Okay.
Sponsored by Clive Palmer, Pumper the Patriots.
Oh, that's what I should have done. I forgot to ask you about this, but I this is going to sound so dumb, but you know your old mate Phil, how he's running for old mate's party. Mm-hmm. We should have got him on the show to do some journalism.
I thought about it. I thought about getting him on, actually doing a podcast with him.
Yeah.
Like maybe like that. But also I thought about doing just a 3-person episode and see how that goes.
Yeah, some unbiased journalism would be fun. But he's just talking about his mum all the time. How's your mum?
It's probably what he 100% would be like. I'd say, all right, we'll do the podcast.
Yeah,
we play the intro.
Yeah.
And I can imagine me saying, "Yep, that's Jackson. I'm Troy.
Yeah.
And today we've got here Phil," and he'd say, "Hey everybody, hey Jackson, how's your mum?"
Yes, no, that's probably what would happen.
You know what the perfect response to that is, right?
What's that?
Yeah, good. How's your dad?
Sorry, as soon as you mentioned dad, I just immediately thought of Game Grumps, where they had this bit it's a bit about kissing your dad.
What?
Where's your dad at? I want to kiss him. I'd kiss you. Your dad, though.
I'd kiss you, but your dad, on the other hand, I don't think so.
Your dad, though. Just implying that your dad's a better kisser than you are.
Wow, I thought it was I'd kiss you, but your dad, I wouldn't.
Oh, no, it's the opposite.
So it's I'd kiss your dad, but I wouldn't kiss you.
Yeah, basically. It's the moral of that bit, I guess, that the Game Grumps did. But yeah.
How did they even get onto that?
They were playing Power Wash Simulator.
Yes, the most relaxing game in the world.
Your dad, though.
Man, I'm glad I got these headphones on. I can't hear anything in the background.
Oh, I can hear it. Yes. Hey, Troy, can I kick off highlights, please? Please, sir, can I kick off highlights?
No. My highlight of the week was I ate that donut.
Damn.
Now it's your turn.
Okay. Well, we should now.
Wait, hold on. Beat that, Jackson. Beat that.
Well, Troy,
donuts.
I'll take your donuts and take the whole thing and raise you a I bought a Yeti. I bought a Yeti, so I bought a Yeti.
Jackson, I have a cat. Huh? That's my highlight. Beat that. Beat the cat.
I beat a cat. Help me.
She's like, okay. It's the most chill cat, this one.
For now.
She is the most chill cat. She's just kind of like, what?
What's all this?
You bought what? A JBL?
No, I bought a Yeti.
A Yeti? Oh! Well, then what's that big white thing in front of you?
So I bought I can't remember what the name was, but it was something.
You bought the mushroom
Yeti?
Yeti?
White.
Looks like a mushroom or something.
Yeah, no, it's the same as yours, but just white.
Ah, that's your mistake. You should have gotten the blue Yeti.
Well, there was only white and red. I didn't want red.
There's a red one?
Yeah.
I don't think you got the same one as me. My one doesn't come in white.
What?
It only...
Excuse me, young man.
Yeah, well... You know, look, and it certainly doesn't come in red.
Why would it come in red?
I don't know. It always, for some reason, I always assumed it came black.
I don't know about how, but we
I lost it once, but then it came back.
Can I? This is another quick joke. It's not a joke, but it's a highlight. One of our colleagues I was working with this week. His English is not his first language.
Yeah.
And so he was texting me saying, "Oh, where are you? Are you here?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just at a switchboard." And he said, "Oh yeah, hi mate, where are you?" I said, "I'm underground basement." He said, "I just came." I'm like, "Don't say that."
Yeah, but no. It's important the way he spelt it. Was it
CAME?
Okay,
But
good.
Come with a thumbs up.
Okay, he came.
He had a...
Well, you know what he means, but it's still funny.
Because I was walking on my switchboard and I saw the notification come through. It's saying I just came. I'm like, don't say that.
You should have sent back, all right, sweet, come with me.
Because his next message after that was, I will start in the bar area. I'm like, good thing no one's in there.
I just came in the bar area.
I'm sorry to my colleague, but freaking when I was working, just doing my switchboard testing, ding, I just came. Oh, no, I don't need to know that.
I did a job today, and I asked my managers, hey, what's going on? Someone's been here marked up in the and they've come back. They've gotten the concrete has come back, and I go, what's going on? Why is that? And I go, whose job was this? Like, I thought they weren't sending jobs back because they got the big grinders.
Yeah.
And they go, no, they. She goes, oh, that was this person's job, and whenever I send an email about things that's wrong, I send a quick little issue here, and I describe the issue. You know, this is there's a hump here. It's this long. It's this big, right?
Yeah.
There's a dip here. This long. It's this big, etc. And apparently this other guy, he sends a whole story.
Oh.
and she's reading out the email that he sent, and it says, "G'day, ladies. Looks like we've got a really bad one here. Really, like it's wobblier. It's wobblier than like the sea on the Mediterranean Sea or something." And I'm thinking to myself, you're sending an email that just says what's wrong. Like, what? Why are you sending a story? Why?
You fixed. Not the problem. Yeah, I can hear you now.
It's fixed. All right. There'll just be a little gap between our audios.
Yeah, it's all good.
But I just went back into.
You just came
and fixed it. I just came. Yes, I just had to pause.
Oh, that reminds me of the bloody bit they did on Distractable one time. They're making a joke about why Wade and Markiplier haven't got children yet.
When did they talk about that?
Because a couple of episodes
ago. Was it the latest
ago.
Or something?
No, it was a couple of episodes ago, and they were talking like, "Oh, climax! Well, gotta go."
Oh yes, I remember that actually.
Anyway, sorry. Continue. Whatever you were talking about.
Basically, like, she read to me what was going on. I'm sitting there going, "Oh my goodness!" And then he starts describing all the issues, and it's like, it's not that complicated. Why do you make it sound like you've got a whole story going on? And like, no wonder it confuses them.
Yeah, exactly.
But another thing, right? So, I went to a job the other day where basically there's a pipe, and for some reason tradies or whoever concreters or plumbers, because I think the builder was going to get the plumber to fix this job. But whenever there's a pipe in the floor, they like fill it concrete. They like put concrete around it, like it's clearly been put on top or something. Or people fill over the top or just cover the pipe or something. Mm-hmm. I rock up and I see this pipe this far out of the ground, like 50 mil out of the ground, and there's a concrete hump on top of it, and you can see the pipe sticking through around it. And I go, okay, well, I'm not touching this because I don't know what this pipe is connected to. I don't know if there's electrical wires running through it, or if it's just it might be just misplaced. Odds are it's just a misplaced pipe and they've had to put a new one in or something. But I don't know if it's connected to anything, and and I'm like, I'm not. Last time I grinded over the top of something like this to get rid of the concrete, they've tried to blame me for water leaking.
Oh, right.
Yeah, because they friggin' put a pipe. It was at a join, and I lightly grinded the concrete that they'd put over the top of this pipe that was sticking out of the ground, and they claim that because I did that, it loosened the joins for the pipe.
Ooh.
And I'm thinking to myself, that's complete and total. If that's complete and total bullshit, like a half a second of just a zing, shouldn't have done that. So now I get prior approval to do anything like that, or I just send it. I tell them that someone else can fix it.
Yeah,
someone else can take responsibility for that. But I got accidentally added to the email thread about this issue, So I'm looking through this thread, and it's got the builder contacting the plumbing company, and saying, "Can you get someone back here to fix this?" And there was a follow-up email saying, "All done, all fixed up, like we've fixed it." And there's a follow-up email from the builder to this plumber guy that shows a photo of what they've done. Right?
Yeah.
They've put more stuff on top. You good? What? They've just filled it so it's even higher. And even the builder's taken a photo and gone, "Mate, you haven't fixed the problem. You've made it worse. We're putting a fridge down on top of this. It needs to be level."
Idiots.
And even I'm thinking if they wanted to fix it for like level, they could fill around it to sort of even up the floor so it dips up to it.
Yeah,
And I'm just thinking to myself, oh my goodness, this is hilarious. I'm so glad I don't have to deal with this kind of stuff.
Yeah, that is a bit odd though. Like the fact that there's just a random bump there and like they just done nothing about it. A bit odd.
It's so weird the amount of times. For some reason, people seem to think that like if you cover it's very weird the amount of times there's concrete. Like whenever anybody fills a hole in a floor, they fill it higher than the floor.
Oh, okay.
They always fill it higher than, and I'm like, that's not get it to level.
Yeah, that's bamboozling, really.
The worst thing I've seen is in the middle of a kitchen. You know, the kitchen walkway. They've ran like electrical cables just across the floor.
Oh, temporary.
On top.
Oh.
No, these were like They were like bolted in. And it was a proper it was a proper one of those bendy cables.
Okay. Oh, the flex. Yeah, flex ones.
The flex cable. Yeah. And it's just sitting on top of the floor, and I'm like, this is a trip hazard.
Yes. Someone's waiting to get killed.
And to come back and fix it, they had to get someone to come cut out the floor, put it in the floor, and then cover the top of it. And I come back, and they have covered the top of it, but it's higher than the floor. So there's like the floor, and then a bump in the floor. And I'm sitting there going, well, I'm not fixing that. I know there's an electrical cable under there, and I don't know how deep it is.
Yeah, not for me. No, I'm just going to leave that one alone.
I know that at the edges, because they still hadn't done it properly, so the cable at the edge of the bed just goes down. But anyway, enough of that.
That just reminded me of those electrical videos you sent me too. Damn.
I keep getting a bunch of electrician videos now, even for products and things, like the little magnet wall thing to bring the cables down the wall.
My favorite video, I don't know if you've seen it, you probably have. There's a video of this electrician looking at this dodgy light fitting, and the lady's like, "Oh, I got my nephew to install this light fitting." And it's, okay.
Yeah.
When did his house burn down? Oh, about 2 years ago. Wait a minute, how did you know that?
Yeah, they put that audio over a bunch of different ones, but it's still really bad stuff.
So funny.
You'll love this. So there's one I want to ask you about because it was done by an apprentice, and you can tell here in Australia. Mm-hmm. But it's not a bad thing. But I'll tell you about the first one. The first one was it was two guys. They were doing something, I don't know what, but they had a vacuum plugged in to the socket.
Right.
And one of them was saying, I don't know what's going on with the electrical work here, but someone needs to come back. He turns on the vacuum. The vacuum doesn't turn on, turns the light on.
Wait, hold on. No, I think there's an easy explanation for this. So it was a construction site, though, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so usually during construction...
This was a video.
Okay, so in construction sites, they have obviously they got temporary wiring, so then when builders are on site, they can use their power tools and whatnot. So usually what
they're in the meter box.
So usually they mix the power and lighting circuits together. Mm-hmm. So usually, like when you go to turn on your appliance, it'll turn on a light. That's just a common thing that does happen. And so, like, if
does happen.
You probably won't see it in your switchboard because you've got an already existing house. It's probably like 20 years old. But in my house, in our switchboard, in our house, there's an actual PowerPoint in there, and that was used for when the builders were here. So they used that one PowerPoint.
Oh yeah, I know. Wait, there's a PowerPoint in your board?
Yes.
There shouldn't be.
No,
they take them out. They're supposed to take them out.
Yeah. So
Jackson.
Quickly.
They're supposed to take it out.
But there's a quick counterpoint to this. They become lighting testing points. So when you're trying to test the safety circuits of the lighting circuits.
You're talking about a 3-prong power thing, and it's
Yes.
plugged into your switchboard.
Yes.
Yes, I know, because I plug my cords into them literally all the time.
Yes. Yes.
But they should be. It should have been removed.
I don't think they need to be removed. They only need to be removed if the switchboard requires more points, like more safety switches.
I don't know if they need to or don't need to, but
Yeah.
I've gone to a lot of sites for the builder who built your home, and I've never seen one where the lights, everything inside is on and working, and they've left one in the PowerPoint. You should get that checked or get it removed or something. I don't know, or fix it yourself.
Well, it doesn't really bother me. It's not bothering me. Yeah, so because it becomes just a light testing circuit. Like I've gone to a lot of sites, like a lot of switchboards at sites where I've seen they've got a light testing point, and it's probably just left there for construction. But it just becomes a safety circuit switch for the light circuits. Because
Sorry, hold on. So hold on.
Yeah.
My mic stopped for a second, and Courtney spoke to me about something. Courtney, what did you say? What did you?
He's an electrician. Shouldn't he know this stuff?
Well, he's saying it's fine, and I'm saying, yeah, that's great and all, but it's not supposed to be in there.
Well,
So what are you saying?
It's not. It doesn't really matter if it's in there or not. Like I was saying, that PowerPoint was put in there during construction as a temporary power. And usually what happens, they mix the power and lighting circuits together, right? Because when during construction, like when there's just the skeleton of the frames and everything, you don't really have any lights except for maybe one or two temporary lighting. And then that way when you're running your power, like your vacuums or whatever, then you obviously turn on the lights at the same time. But because it's not drawing too much current, then there's no real issue.
I hope you are recording me as well, because for some reason my mic keeps disconnecting,
Yeah, I'm recording you still.
which is very weird. Is it because it's not... I knocked the bench and it friggin' disconnected from... But you could hear me this whole time?
Yeah, I can still hear. I thought you fixed your cable though.
I did fix it. Well, I've unplugged it just to charge this the other day, and I just plugged it back in, so I don't know why it's playing up. But yeah, there was nothing wrong with it before. It's just acting weird. Anyway, so summarize what you were saying. You're fine with it.
Yeah, so like I was saying,
Well-
it was used as a shared mixed lighting power circuit back during construction. And so later on, afterwards, when after they've used it up, they don't need to use it anymore. It just becomes wired into the lighting circuit.
Did you say it's used as a lighting circuit?
Yeah,
What,
a
the
lighting
actual plug?
testing point. A light testing point. So you know how when it comes to they've done all the installation of the wiring and everything to make sure that there's enough insulation and continuity and resistance and all that stuff. When they measure at the switchboard instead of having to go up in the roof and crawling through all the power point for all the connection points for all the lights. So instead of having to do that, they do it in the switchboard of that power point.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're supposed to actually check individual ones on the actual outside of the switchboard, not just the PowerPoint.
So-
because that PowerPoint's only plugged into the main. It's not plugged into
At
the
the
rest
time,
of the
at that
house.
time, yes. But then after like I said, after the construction site's finished, that little 3-pronged PowerPoint gets wired into the lighting circuits.
I don't think it does. I think
does.
they're
No, it
supposed to
does.
remove it and then wire
Well,
the circuits to the actual switch.
I don't know about the
switchboard.
rules about having to. Like I said, I don't know if they need to remove them, but
So I'll explain it like this. Every job I've gone to where they've finished all the electrical work on the inside, or at least most of it, to the point where they've removed the prong from the power board. Like there's no like you can't plug a cable into the power board anymore. I don't know why they've left it in at yours, and I don't really
like
care
I
about the testing. I just wonder why, because you'd think they'd leave them in all of them then.
I think you find they might do, especially in new houses, especially like when
Jackson, I worked on your house.
I know.
And I've worked on for the builder who
I'm talking about
I've done
like
multiple houses for that builder.
Post handover, if you go through the switchboards in those new houses, when it's post handover, that those new houses will still have it.
I mean,
But
I could always check with
it's
someone.
not a crucial thing if they have it or not. It's just this is what it is. Because I've
So,
gone to
if-
concrete plants and they've got them in their little subboards as well.
So let me ask you a question. So you're saying that the electricians who work for the builders that I've worked for they remove the plugs and then put them back in before handover?
Wait, say again?
You're saying that the 3-prong plug that's in
Yes.
your circuit board, that the electricians pull it out at some point during the construction, do all the wire fishboard up, and then put it back in?
No, it's always in there. Because what happens...
Well, I'm trying to explain to you
Yeah.
that they are all removed before handover.
Well, I can only speak for myself because I don't do domestic sparky stuff.
And I have been to multiple sites just like your house. Your house is a fucking copy-paste house. I know your house better than you. I have seen the dark secrets within your house and I have created some of them.
What, the hello message? The little message you
no,
in the cupboard.
No, I'm talking about your floor leveling, but yeah. I'm talking about the I'm talking about the what's it called there? I'm talking about the little satanic star thing in the middle of your living room that someone spray painted.
Sure.
You joke about that, but I walked into a house one day and there was a room that had like a big what is it called? The satanic circle thing? Pentagram. Someone had done a pentagram in like one of the living rooms.
Intentionally leave the light testing point in a home post
I love the fact that like I work at these domestic sites and you're an electrician, but you're Googling it.
Yeah, no, well,
I'm not saying it's a problem. I'm just saying it's a bit weird that they've done that. I could be wrong. They could take it out and then plug it back in, but it almost doesn't make sense.
Like, I'm not trying to... I'm just telling you what I know is that the reason why they keep it in there is because it becomes, like I was saying, a testing point. So they can do all their measurements, like I was talking about the resistance, the continuity, insulation of the circuit, making sure that it's all wired safely and that they're...
But why would they wire it up to the lights?
So the main reason they do that is because when they measure all that stuff, they need to measure from the furthest point from the switchboard.
Yeah, the actual switchboard. They just open up and test at the actual wire.
Yeah. In the prongs.
I'm saying what you're saying about the light thing almost doesn't make sense, because if someone is doing that, or if someone has like wired it up to the lights and left it there, and I come to plug in my cord and turn it on there, like. But also, my main question is how does the vacuum turn on the? Does it create the circuit to the lights? Is that how?
Yes, that's what I was saying. Because during construction, that 3-pronged thing in the switchboard is a mixed circuit of power and lights.
I understand. What I'm telling you is they plug the vacuum into a socket in the wall of the house. In the house. And it turned on the lights. And then the other guy went over to the light switch in the other room and flicked the lights, and it turned off the lights that was in this other room.
Oh, that's weird.
Yes.
Maybe it's a two-way switch light. That's the only thing I can think of.
Now, the second thing I was going to ask you that's far less controversial, and you'll be able to definitely tell me because I think The Apprentice did it. So the guy had the cables come down to the main, right, for a two-pronged
safety switch.
What's it called? No, just the normal switch where you plug in the normal prongs.
Oh, you mean just a power point?
Just for a PowerPoint, yes, thank you. They had the cords coming down for a PowerPoint, and then they did a little offshoot cord from that PowerPoint.
Yes.
So they could have 4 PowerPoints.
Yes, 2 double O's.
Yes. So that would be fine, but what would happen if you had like a bunch of, or like 4 vacuums plugged in there? Would it overloaded or not?
Probably.
That's what I was wondering. I'm sitting there going, okay, so they've got 4 adapters, but they can't draw that much electricity from them. This was in a wall at a house, so I imagine they were trying to plug in like a TV, and 4 other things
like speakers, DVD player, and something else, probably like a lamp.
And I was sitting there looking at the video, going, "Why didn't they just put like a 4 adapter on the one main?
A 4 banger.
4 banger. Yeah, a 4. I'm trying to think of 4 sockets." But someone already asked that, and the guy had commented that that's what the client wanted. He wanted like two separate sets of 2.
Yeah. I mean, 2 double O's look nicer, especially when they're all level. I think the problem with the 4 bangers is that it's a bit bulky and looks a bit thick. Like it looks a bit ugly. But if it's him
that's the
taping
thing.
it-
That's what I think. I looked at it and they were like 5 mil apart, like the
Yeah.
edges of them. So you put the caps on and there's like a finger's length.
The other thing
room.
too with a 4-banger is that there might not have been enough space to mount the brackets because there might have been what do you call it, the timber that goes straight down.
I mean, maybe, but these two were basically like this. Like there was a finger between each wall
Yeah, okay.
of the power outlet. So I was sitting there going, like, they should have just used 4. But my next question is how does that work? That's because the thing is always live, so it's always got power to all 4 sockets.
Yeah, so they
It's just a
loop.
switch.
So one is the main feed, and then they loop off wires from one to the next.
How often do they do that?
Pretty common. It's pretty common.
Okay,
Especially in offices, because like if you have a desk, so you imagine they have like a double 2-banger, and then so when the feed comes down, the feed goes into one, and then they loop off that one switch into the next power point.
My final question is how much looping can you do?
Enough where it meets the standards and requirements for the circuit. So like you could probably get away with having one circuit and having looping like maybe 8 double GPOs. But the only problem with that is as long as you're not running like a microwave, toaster, fridge, computer, heater at the same time, you should be okay.
And that's why a lot of the electric ovens have their own like personalized or a main connection.
Things like ovens, air conditioners, and even hot water services should have their own circuits, depending on how much they draw and their current and whatnot.
That's fair enough, though.
Yeah.
All right, that's all I was curious about because I keep getting all this electrician stuff on TikTok now.
Why not of us? Come be a Sparky.
Yeah.
You get paid to learn.
I did. Yeah, that's every trade.
Yeah,
I did look up like Sparky apprenticeships, and I searched mature age apprenticeship, but it didn't really come up with mature age. It just came up with regular ones.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's fine. I could. But the pay looked pretty much like the equivalent of what you'd pay someone who was doing minimum, like who was. Yeah, it looked like pretty good pay.
Yeah, it is pretty.
Like
it was
for a
pretty
first
good.
year, $25 an hour is pretty good.
Yeah, the like when I was starting
Even in this
out,
economy.
the wages are pretty bad, but they've gotten a bit better now. So.
Oh, I've been listening to a few because I told you about the audiobooks that are now all free that I can download, right? I finished the business one. So this is
business.
9 hours of me listening to how corporations and businesses work. And oh my goodness, it's absolutely shocking. Like this just the amount of crap that goes on and the amount of sneaky stuff and not so sneaky but stuff where it's like, what? You can do that?
Yeah, there's a lot of dodgy stuff that goes on with businesses. Like I
Well,
always thought with this podcast I'd make a little business out of it. Like we'd run it, we'd make a business together. But
Oh, that's sweet. You thought we were going to be good.
You thought we were going to get profit. You thought we were going to get paid.
You thought we were getting paid for this?
Money from podcasting.
Jackson, we could get paid.
We could, yes. We could.
We just have to put in the effort.
You just have to do it.
Do it, yes.
Oh,
That's
that
okay,
reminds me.
Jackson. Most CEOs, most people don't do well with startups until they're 45 or CEOs.
Hey guys, if you're still listening into about 30 minutes so far, whatever long we've gone, check out the link in the descriptions. I've put in a Google
Jackson
form
song.
thing where I want people to send in us questions or topics that we want to talk about. So, yeah, because so far none. So
Jackson's run out of ideas.
No. I just forgot to mention it because I was like, maybe a good idea, some input from those who dare listen to us.
I'm glad you're doing this, but maybe you should work on our TikTok first and our YouTube shorts. You're like, Troy. But you're like, Troy, you need to make more shorts. I'm like, Jackson, please. I have ADHD. I only get things done once a month.
And I have undiagnosed ADHD.
No, you don't.
And Courtney has an elephant.
ADHD.
Why does Courtney have an elephant?
Because I don't know why she got the Axel's got the elephant now. Oh man, Courtney's really upset.
Courtney or Axel?
That was the joke.
Funny joke.
Yeah, it's funny joke.
There
Now
was
tell, show me on this doll where he touched you.
When did you last see this man?
He touched me here. I was saying to Courtney, she bought this, right? And I'm like, geez, that elephant trunk is that's a trunk, all right. Boing.
It's on that
He's a sad elephant. Boing.
what's the bloody stuff called?
The blue stuff.
No, the stuff to cause you having stiffies forever.
Viagra?
Flippin' heck.
I mean, I don't know if it's blue. I guess it might be a blue pill. I've never used it. I've never had a knee, Jackson.
Sure.
What?
Sure. No, I believe you.
No, I haven't had a knee. I can safely say I'm good, right, buddy?
Hey, since
What?
I brought up politics just before, I want to play this clip that
No, I told you no clips.
Troy, I'm playing because it's actually kind of funny.
No clips. All right, fine.
To
You
the
can play
Prime
it.
Minister. Prime Minister, why would you invite Donald Trump to Australia when you've got a Timu Trump sitting right opposite you?
Is that Clive Palmer he's talking about?
No, it was
it would have been so funny.
Queensland.
A Timu Trump.
Why would you?
We have Trump in Australia. Trump in
at home.
Australia.
Yeah,
I'll quickly get back to. So I listened to like the business book. It talks about business, but one of the other books, I downloaded the politics one and I listened to it for about 5 minutes. But it starts at like the conception of, it starts at the conception of business and starts at the conception of politics, which was like back in the Roman times, in the ancient Romans. No, it actually talks about like how Rome invented the idea of politics and all that. But
yeah,
I got 5
democracy and all
minutes.
that stuff.
The Democracy Manifest.
This is.
Get your hands off my penis!
Get your hand off my penis!
Get your hand off my penis! Check that. Courtney keeps.
Eating a meal, eating a succulent Chinese meal.
I'm stuck. I'm stuck with Courtney's on her knees with Axel in front of me here. You can't see it, but they're there.
What, eating a succulent Chinese meal.
But anyway, a meal, a succulent Chinese meal.
Don't get your hands off my penis.
But that was I saw a video that said that was like 20 years ago or something.
Yeah, that guy died like a couple of months ago too.
Oh, it's sad. But that's what happens to memes. They die.
Was he was half Aussie, half Bulgarian or Hungarian? One of those two. Like he was.
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So I got started on the next book that I wanted to do, which was How to Make Money. And
is this making money?
Boy, was that worse. It goes into details about stuff like dividends, rental properties, how the government makes money, how the government gets out of this. It should have been how the economy works.
The economy.
All the different ways you can earn money without without working, all the different ways you can make money with working. It goes into things like insurance, insurance and life assurance, which is something I didn't know about. It's like life assurance is a different version of life insurance, but it's you pay more, but you get I didn't know this, but life insurance actually has a cap, right? Mm-hmm. So you can pay for life insurance, but the moment you hit a certain age, they won't cover you anymore.
Oh. Well,
so let's say, they might have set in their thing like we'll give your family $1 million if you die between the ages of 30 and 60.
Okay.
But if you get to that 60 point, they're like, well, you're not covered anymore. But a life assurance on the other hand, has full like life. It's lifetime guarantee.
It's weird because I don't know why I thought of this immediately. The word assurance, it's a dark type move in Pokemon, and I'm like, why is it a dark type?
Well, there you go, because it's an
assuring.
because it's an assurance. It's a guarantee. But anyway, yes. I'm listening to a book about how to make money. It's talking about life assurance, and I'm like, what? And it goes into so much more detail, but when you're at work, you cannot process everything that's going on.
Yeah.
Like, because it goes such depth about, and it goes into how banks lend money and how non-banks lend money and the main difference between a non-bank lender and a bank lender. Apparently, it was something about how non-bank lenders can't, they can't keep cash on them or something, or they don't, yeah. And it talks about how economies work and all that, and how there are there are three ways governments stop, prevent inflation. One is to tax people more.
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 They say.
You tax people more because I can see. Now I'm
Yeah.
back. Yeah.
More? Tax you more?
Yeah, they tax you more because they take money out of. Essentially, it's to take money out of the flow of the economy.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because if there's more money floating around, the value of the money drops, and that's why the Australian dollar is worth less than the American dollar at the moment.
Yeah, it's gone
why
down so much.
And part of why everything's so expensive at the moment is because in the past 5 years they've quote printed, although it's all digital now.
Yeah.
But they've put into our economy. They've put in injected 50% more cash.
Ah, okay.
Then-
so the
so
dollar's
5
gone,
years-
yeah, worthless.
So 5 years ago, we had 50% less money in flow.
Yeah, because of
But since they've printed more money and thrown it in, which is the worst, it's like the worst option out of all the options that you could go for, obviously, because it causes hyperinflation and stuff like that, right? But one thing to bring it, there are two things that. So one is higher taxes, right? And the other is, would you care to take a guess?
You said taxes? No. I don't know.
No, it's taxes, and the other one
Inflation?
is interest rates.
Oh, how interesting.
Put interest rates up, because and it's to stop people spending money. So higher taxes, higher interest rates, so people have less money to spend.
Yeah, so much for
Because
trying to
if people,
make people
because
buy
if
houses
it-
too. Jeez.
yeah, because if everyone's spending too much money, the value of the money goes down. Goes down, and that means everything gets up in value.
Yeah.
Because demand versus demand versus
that one.
supply.
Supply and demand.
It's demand versus supply. Yeah. So
Yes.
if you have an over demand, right, then if the value of stuff goes up, like with houses, that's why house prices have gone up, because there's so many people demanding rentals and demanding houses that the value has gone up.
Yeah.
And so partly to try and stir that or fix that, they've printed more money for some bizarre reason so that they can give more people money so they can take out more loans and all that. So it's
I mean,
it's not good. It's not good, but it's not bad either.
Sometimes it may be good, but sometimes it may be shit.
But I read an article, and that's when I found out. I don't know. I didn't research properly, so I'm trusting ABC News or someone or someone. I'm trying to think who it was, but it was one of those main news websites. They were stating that basically the people who are in charge of our economy are asleep at the wheel. They described, quote, they're asleep at the wheel because they're fucking not. They're not doing their jobs properly.
They're not doing the doobs, it's all too because now we're reaching an election, and so all the promises are going to go out about bringing more worth to the dollar, or trying to make wages better, because that's probably the one problem we've had in Australia is that everything's gone up, but the only thing that hasn't gone up is wages.
I was talking to a guy about this today. He was a cabinet installer or a shelf installer, and he was telling me about how his wages hadn't gone up in 10 years, but the price of everything has gone up.
It's not, doesn't make sense.
But the problem isn't so putting up people's wages will make the problem worse. It won't make it better.
Because people will still spend, you reckon?
It just gives people more money to spend.
Yeah.
So they're going to pay more so companies can charge more for these things, right? So if nobody's buying bread, for example, the price of bread goes down.
Yes.
Because they've got an oversupply. But if everybody's buying bread and one person's paying more for it than another person, they're going to give it to the person who's paying more.
Yeah.
And there's been actual historical things like this happening where if they raise wages, it means that people won't have... raising wages doesn't give people more money, right?
No.
Or it doesn't give them more. It gives them more. Yeah, it just makes the money less valuable.
Here it is. So, kind of related, kind of not related. So, back in 2008, we had the global financial crisis, but at the same time, Mario Kart for the Wii was released. Fast forward to 25, and in 2025, the stock market crashed. But at the same time, Mario Kart World, the newest Mario Kart game, it will be released. So there's like a correspondence of Mario Kart games being released
goodness.
versus like a stock market going down or something.
You heard about the stock market value going down, right?
Yeah.
And they're saying it's because of Trump and his tariffs and all
that's
that.
not.
But I don't entirely believe it's that. I think they're using that as an excuse.
Yes. Smokescreen.
He hasn't even. I reckon it is a smokescreen because they've been saying that like everything's going to drop in years, and the fact is the value of everything, or quote the value of everything has gone up. Like in the past 5 years, it's like doubled or quadrupled. Yeah. And the funny thing is, I was looking at shares and stuff for just because I re-looked at it and was curious about investments and all that. And what I found fascinating is if I had bought, right? Yeah. If I'd bought, let's say I had 200,000 lying around 5 years ago. If I had bought $200,000 worth of Commonwealth Bank shares, right, 5 years ago,
yeah,
and I sold it today, I would get 600,000 back.
Okay.
Their shares like tripled in value over the past 5 years.
That's pretty good.
But the thing that confuses me, right, is they've tripled in value in the Australian dollar.
Oh.
So, is it that the share value has gone up? I wanted to ask someone who actually knows about stocks and how values and all that work, because I started thinking, is it that the share value has gone up, or the value of money has gone down, so therefore it takes more money for that share?
Yeah.
So it looks like the share value has gone up, but in actuality, the value of the dollar is like lower, which means the price of things like shares have gone up in quote value.
Yeah, it's interesting because like one of the things that hasn't changed too much, petrol prices have been pretty calm. Like,
you say that, but because of the crash, right? Yeah. Apparently, everything's going to be 10 cents cheaper because the value of oil has gone down.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
supposedly.
Yeah.
But wow, 10 cents per litre, that's good. Well, at least I'll save myself $6 or however much. Like,
I mean, it doesn't bother me because I got free fuel because of a work car, but yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm the same in that regard.
Yeah. But it's just an observation I like making. It's like, oh, look, petrol prices aren't too bad. But like there was a time period where petrol prices were like $1.10.
But I think
99 cents.
But I'll get into the political side of things. I think what they need to do, right, is they need to, it sounds bad, but they need to slow down the economic growth. And they need to stop immigration, definitely. They definitely need to stop that. And even start sending people back home or back overseas.
Well, that's what Donald's trying to do. How dare you have dual citizenship and get arrested?
He claims that, but that's a load of crap.
We made this joke last episode or whatever it was, but give people a wombat.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, well that'll send him back. But it sounds like because right now, yeah, we're full to capacity. Our actual services and stuff can't handle it. But the reason why they don't want to send people back overseas is because the value of everything is going to drop again.
Yeah, it's a weird balancing act. Down. It's so weird.
Yeah, but that's and they've screwed it up a little bit, and that's partly why. Like, I'm not saying immigration is the reason why the value of the dollar has gone down and why prices of everything has gone up, because that's what people keep saying. That's why. Other people saying that's not why, and I'm going to say yes, that is why, but it's not the main reason. It's just a symptom.
Yeah,
of the problem, and it's exacerbated it. It's made it worse.
Yeah, it is weird though, because you'd think, I guess, because like you think of immigration, people leaving war-torn countries to come to a better place, and like in some regard, yeah, Australia is a much better place than others, but you want to entice people to come to this country, but at the same time, you're not doing a good job looking after your own people, which is, I mean,
So, as you said, it's a balancing act,
Yeah.
right? But the problem is they haven't really been balancing it too
No,
much.
it's been
and it's not even-
one-sided. It's been a
and
bit
it's
more
it's not
one-sided.
even people from war-torn countries that
No.
are coming here.
No, it's
Like
Asia.
it's just it's honest. No, it's just whoever's closest.
Yeah, true. Well, apparently
India and
we're
Asia
getting a
both
lot of
have bigger populations.
Yeah, we're
so-
getting influxes of Americans apparently because obviously Trump's in power now and they don't like it. So
Well, I'll tell you something funny. I read a little article about a Gen Z American who came here, and she came here with $5,000 and thought that would be enough, like to help sort of get a kickstart and all that. She went back home after about like 3 months or something, or 6 months, because of the cost of living was too high, and she was working multiple gigs and multiple jobs to make do. And I'm like, yeah, it's a tough economy now. It's tough. It's
hey,
there's
no
no
one's shooting
Australian
you.
dream,
no one's shooting you.
but no one's shooting you.
Guns? What guns?
But I think they need to halt the immigration, and they're using immigration as a band-aid. But the problem is it's also exacerbating the actual issue.
It's a big word for you, by the way.
Because you bring in more people, well then the value, there's less houses, less rental properties. The value suddenly there's more people wanting it, so you can charge more. That goes up. That causes this to go up, etc. But at the same time, they need more people working, so more people can pay taxes. And there's so many jobs out there that are available, and so everything's expanding. Like apparently, we've got a tradie. What is it? A tradie
Shortage?
Knock. I'm going to say shortage. We've got a tradie crisis. keep hearing about these crises.
Mate,
Energy crisis.
Fix up the unions.
Housing
and
crisis.
Fix up the
Cost
unions
of
and
living
that'll-
crisis.
That'll
Tradie
fix that problem.
crisis. Fix the what unions?
Yeah. They're
Well, the problem is you hear a bunch of like builders saying there aren't enough tradies. That is true. That is part of the issue. But there aren't enough tradies because they're trying to build that many houses at once and expand everything.
yeah.
But also they don't want to hire people that charge higher than they like. They're like, oh, why would I
Yeah.
pay you $50 an hour when I can pay this guy $30 an hour?
Yeah, but
If I can pay him $30 an hour, I'll find another guy I can pay $30 an hour.
The difference
Some of the
in
tr-
work
some-
is
Some of the electricians and some of the plumbers I've spoken to, they're sitting there going, yeah, it's getting a bit ridiculous for us. Like our bosses aren't paying us that much. Like I only get paid by the hour, this, but also they'll rock up to job sites and they can't do the job for whatever reason, so they don't get paid for that time of driving and all that. And all this, it's a bunch of stuff where it's like I'm sitting there going, fully qualified people should be getting like pretty good money, but some of them are only just above minimum wage kind of stuff, or they're only earning a bit more than their apprenticeship when they were doing their apprenticeship.
Yeah. It's a little bit whack, but at least I don't want to be in a position where I have to try and balance all this stuff because it'd be an absolute nightmare. So yeah.
Yeah, well, the guy I was talking to today, he was a subby, and he was like, "Yeah, it's a pain having to do all my own taxes and all that stuff."
Sounds like it's
I'm
better
like, yeah,
here
I feel
than
ya.
America though, because they have to fill out so much stuff apparently.
Oh, with their taxes, yeah. Well, they got to keep track of it all,
Yeah.
everything. Like it's ridiculous how like they got imagine everything that you buy or do, you got to keep track of like how much you earn or.
I mean, that's probably why we're kind of lucky that we have. Well, I mean, not lucky, but fortunate to have GST because that
It certainly
its
helps,
job.
but the other thing that, like, so for example, subcontractors, right? They have to set aside some cash for tax, right, to pay their taxes.
Yep.
And that used to be they introduced pay as you go stuff, which is what I had to do. So as I worked, I paid taxes on what I'd earned, and I hated this system of pay as you go. Because before they set that up and the accountant set it up for me, I should have told him not to set it up for me, but he did it automatically. Is originally I would just earn my money, I'd calculate how much I'd earned, I'd calculate how much I owe in tax, and then pay that to them. And that made more sense to me, and therefore there's more money for me to use for other things. Because as long as I had enough money to pay back the tax, it was fine. And we don't have to do that because the companies that we work for do it, like they automatically calculate it, take it out of our wage.
Yes,
so we just have to, go onto MyGov or something, click, tax return done.
Yeah.
They give me money back. In America, it's like everybody's a subcontractor. So they all got to keep track of how much they've earned, then calculate the tax from that, and then calculate all the I forget what the term, the
Sources of income?
no, not well, yeah, that, but also the stuff you buy that you can tax claim. I'm trying to think of the
Claim
term.
on business and stuff.
All their
Expenses.
claims. They got to calculate all their claims, and then and that's why they get accountants to do some of that stuff for them. Mm-hmm. And then they send it. And then they send it to the government. Yeah. And what makes it worse for them is our government asks us to do it every year, right? Mm-hmm. And you can sort of skip a year, like 1 or 2 years, but they can skip 5.
Yeah.
They don't have to pay tax for 5 years. And when you think about it, if I went, what did I spend money on 5 years ago? And I'm like, I can't remember what I spent money on 5 years ago. Who can? But they have to figure that out or keep track of it all. So you imagine we've got receipts like this. Well, you times it by 5.
I tell you, because I still got tax returns from 2010 or 2009 to fill up because I worked at Foodland doing night fill, and I was manually getting pay slips like after each fortnight or whatever. So I had to take the pay slip to the bank. Microphone again. Okay, done. Back.
Yeah. So were you getting checks? Were you getting checks where you like
pay slips? Yeah, I was going to actually get physical pay slips. Yeah.
Yeah, I did. When I was a subby, that's basically I got paid by check.
So I've still got the 2009, 2010 tax I need to fill out. But that's the thing. I had paper slips. Like, how am I supposed to go back?
Well, the funny thing is, like, if you earn under a certain amount, you don't even need to even do it really.
I wasn't ranking 45 grand. That's easy. I wasn't doing that.
I had a tax return in like 2010 or something, or 2009, but I'm sitting there going, I wasn't working that year. I didn't earn any money, so I just left it. And after a while, they basically they cancel it for you because they go, oh yeah, that person didn't earn any money then.
Yeah, right, okay.
Like you can. It's not opt out, but you can put it in as an unnecessary.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. Yeah, I could probably get away with doing that, I guess. Yeah.
Oh, well, it depends on how much you earned. Did you earn over 15,000?
Doing night fill at a Foodland? No.
Well, there you go. You probably don't even have to do it. You can probably tick a little thing that says, not applicable.
Yeah,
essentially. NA. Yeah, exactly. You can click NA.
Because those pay slips I've got for those jobs, they have a long time gone. Like I don't have them physically anymore. So.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the other thing. Those sort of you don't have to show any of that stuff after about, I think it's like 8 years.
Yeah, okay.
Or something. You don't have to prove like your pay slips or income sort of thing.
Gotcha.
But so that's what I learned from the book. It was it's basically the title of the book is How to Make Money. It really goes in depth on how to make money. Like first thing it talks about is cows. Because cows were the first source of first concept where the concept of money came in after for bartering. Cows were the first invention. Cows were the original money, Jackson.
Quick question: this wasn't the Barefoot Investor who wrote this book, was it?
No.
Okay, good.
It literally goes into details and the invention of the first coin and what coins started out as and how it worked and how basically it started off with a bartering system. And IOUs. Apparently, IOUs were a big thing back then, which makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
And because of the invention of writing and written language, you could keep track of IOUs.
Pens.
No, pens are a modern day invention.
Yes, that's true. Really.
Or at least they were a modern day invention.
At some point, yeah. Until they weren't so modern. When's the next smart pen? I don't know.
Well, I've seen. Have you seen the writing tablet thing where you can write it and it feels like? So
I think so.
There's the old one, which is basically you buy a tablet that's designed to it's meant to feel like you're writing an actual thing. But someone's invented a new one, right? Mm-hmm. That's like a tablet. It's the same thing, but you write on it, and then it copies your exact writing and sends it to your phone.
Oh.
Yeah, as a PDF or as a Word document or something.
Seems a bit silly.
Probably a
but
PDF.
A PDF.
Oh, it's better than trying to do your signature on your phone. I'll tell you about that.
I tell you what, that's one thing smartphones haven't figured out. So, like, when I get a document on my emails to, like, oh, please make sure you sign this and return it by a certain date, it's stupid because you have to open the document, save it to your files, go to the files.
I know. Go to edit.
Draw on it. It's like, why can't you just do it in the email app or whatever? For crying out loud.
I figured out. I haven't done it anymore because I figured out a way to because you can actually save your signatures.
Ah, yes.
So I figured out how to save it somehow, so I could just save, copy and paste,
Yeah.
and then stretch it to the right
Make it
size.
bigger.
I don't do it anymore. It's easy to just do what you did, and then sign. Mm-hmm. But it's. I was trying to show. Yeah, I was trying to show Judy how to do it, and she couldn't really. I was trying to show a friend of hers how to do it over the phone, and man, was that a problem. They just could not work out how to do it.
No, bunch of old ladies didn't have a clue.
But it makes me not worried, but I keep thinking about the amount of things you can do digitally on now, and it makes me sit there going like, they've got to start keeping this stuff back. Like they've got to bring it back to physical. Because if I can copy and paste my signature and someone gets access to my phone, or someone hacks into my phone somehow, they've just got my signature and they can just copy and paste it on whatever they want.
Yeah, exactly.
There are people who have been told, oh yeah, you took a loan out with us, and the person's going, what? I don't even live in your area. Like I've never been. I've never been to Sydney. I never took a loan with the Sydney Bank or the whatever. Oh, well, we've got your signature here. Okay, that's great. Do you have anything else? Do you have proof that I walked into your location and grabbed a pen and paper and signed it? Nah.
See, like this.
But we've got your signature.
This is an issue because, like, similarly along the lines of that, like when you subscribe for a service. So, for example, right today, my auto renewal for Norton antivirus came through, but I had no email notification about it until the very morning. So by the time I was going to cancel it, it was too late because it'd been processed. So I rang them and got a refund. So they're organising a refund, but they also realised, oh, you this plan you got, it's kind of invalid because you're only using one device as opposed to two. So for this time, I was paying for two devices when I only need one. So not only they put me on a cheaper deal, they're also refunding me some money. So.
Oh, well, that's good.
That's the danger. The auto renewal is kind of like the same thing when you're talking about like if someone's got your signature,
your details.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a bit worse than auto renewal, but auto renewal is just the sneaky way of doing it.
Yeah.
Like I listen to a few YouTube channels that are done by American people, and one guy like plugs this app. He's got this app that keeps track of your subscriptions.
Yeah.
It's an app on your phone that tells you what you subscribe to, and it can you can easily flick and cancel and change it. And I'm sitting there, and you can add your bills and all that to it. And I'm sitting there going, how many fucking subscriptions do people have?
Yeah.
That they need to do that. And I'm sitting there going, where is this money coming from?
Just a quick one. Shout out my dad for letting me borrow their Netflix.
Same thing to my same shout out to my mum for letting me borrow her Netflix. It's kind of funny because I remember Courtney saying, "Oh, like, what would you want to do if I said like if Judy wanted us to like chip in for the Netflix?" And I said, "Well, we can either give her a lump sum for that year, so pay her lump sum to her to let us use her Netflix, or we'll just stop using her Netflix."
Yeah.
But if she's cancelling her Netflix, we'll just stop using it. Like,
yep, makes sense.
I don't need Netflix. Netflix for me is it's a bonus. Getting Netflix. It's not a necessity.
No, that's right.
Like I can always stream things free.
Of course. Hey,
and I'll tell you what.
Sorry, go on.
Yep.
Taking
it out of my life is probably a better thing because there's less stuff to watch.
That's
like
true.
Less TV, less all that.
Yeah. If we don't do another episode before next weekend, I'm just gonna say that WrestleMania is coming up next weekend, so that's gonna be hype as frick because there's so many cool storylines going into it. So, yeah, excited for WrestleMania. Yeah, of course you're out. Bye. See ya.
No. I was trying to do like, I should have downloaded the wrestling one, the wrestling
That's not
episode
real
of
wrestling.
South Park. That's right, but that's not real
Did
wrestling.
you watch the video I sent you where the former guy, the former wrestler, reacted to that episode?
I started watching it, but no, I didn't finish it. I didn't
That's
get time because I was at work at the time. But I was like, oh yeah, he found the episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the episode I was talking about.
Yes,
It
I
gets
know.
so good.
Yeah. He actually gives the show guys, the creators, like a fair bit of credit, saying like they got a lot of things pretty accurately how WWE
They do their research.
Yeah.
They very much do their research.
But yeah, anyway, so yeah, I'm hyped for that. That's next weekend though. So, like I said, if we do another episode,
Well, I'm out, guys. This is what's cool now. I think I'm done. I no longer have any connection to this world.
stop
I'm
looping
gonna
the
go home and kill
well.
myself. Goodbye, friends.
All right, I'm done.
Living in Melbourne,
Oh yeah, well, okay. No.
just living in.